Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Today we're going to completely stop treating Microsoft Excel like some tedious digital scratch pad. Actually, scratch that. We're going to unlock it for what it truly is, an incredibly powerful calculation engine. In this Explainer, we're going to shift exactly how you interact with spreadsheets. We'll decode the very DNA of Excel, taking you all the way from basic data entry to building complex, fully automated decision support tools. Let's dive in. All right, here is our roadmap for the Explainer today. First up, the universal business language. Second, essential math and text. Third, time, logic, and counting. Number 4, advanced referencing and lookups. And finally, refinement and visualization. Let's not waste any time.
There's this quote from our source material that I absolutely love. Excel is considered a universal language in business and academia. Think about it like this. When you learn a new language, you learn grammar and you learn vocabulary, right? Well, in Excel, the syntax of our formulas is our grammar, and the functions themselves, that's our vocabulary. Once you're fluent in this language, you can communicate anything, ensuring data integrity and literally automating away thousands of hours of manual entry.
Okay, level 1, the universal business language. Let's master the essential environment of our spreadsheet.
Every language needs an environment to be spoken in, and Excel's user interface is ours. You've got your overall workbook, that's the digital book itself, and the worksheets, which are the individual pages you navigate using the ribbon. Now mentally anchor yourself to the grid. We are talking over 16,000 vertical columns and 1 million horizontal rows. That is enough rows to list the entire population of a small country. But here's the real secret. Anchor your attention to the formula bar right above that grid. What you see down in the cell is just the final result. But the formula bar, that is where the true hidden formula lives behind the scenes.
Now there is a really crucial but often missed distinction here between a data type and a cell format. The data type is what the value actually is at its core. You've got text, which Excel won't calculate, numbers, which are just raw digits, and formulas, which always start with an equal sign. But cell format, that is purely how the value visually appears to us. Formatting just changes the visual layer, like tossing a dollar sign on there for currency, but it never ever changes the raw data type underneath.
Excel has this fascinating kind of hidden logic for handling time. Under the hood, dates are actually just numbers. Specifically, the number 1 equals January 1st, 1900. Every single day after that is just the very next serial number. So because dates are simply numbers wrapped up in a pretty date format, if you want to find a date exactly 1 week later, you don't need some complex calendar formula. No way. You just mathematically add 7 to the cell. It's brilliant.
Moving right along to level 2, essential math and text. Time to acquire those basic vocabulary spells that are going to save you thousands of hours.
First up are the foundational mathematical functions, sum and average. Sum simply takes a range and adds the whole thing together, while average totals them up and divides by the count of entries. These two, they are your absolute bread and butter. They instantly eliminate those manual addition and division errors that always seem to plague old-school paper and pencil math.
Most people know min and max for finding the absolute extremes in a dataset. But what if you want, say, the second highest sales figure, or maybe the third lowest test score? Well, enter the large and small functions. Stringing these together allows you to rank your data dynamically. You can find the absolute highest score and then pluck out the second and third runners-up in an absolute flash.
But hey, we don't just deal with numbers, do we? We deal with messy, messy text. Upper, lower, and proper instantly fix your capitalization. Proper is actually amazing because it acts like a built-in grammar checker, capitalizing just the first letter of every single word. Then we've got extraction tools like left, right, and mid. Imagine needing to extract just the first 2 letters of 1,000 employee IDs instantly. Left does all that heavy lifting for you. And if you need to glue text back together, concat joins strings, while text join joins them and adds a separator, completely ignoring any empty cells. A real game changer.
Okay, level 3, time, logic, and counting. Let's give Excel the power to tell time, count intelligently, and make its own decisions.
First, we can actually tap into the system clock. Today returns the current date and now gives you the exact date and time. But let's look at counting, because Excel is famously particular here. If you use count, it stubbornly only counts cells that have numbers. If you want to count numbers, text, and errors, basically the whole shebang, you need count A. The A literally stands for all non-empty cells. And what if you want to find missing data? Count blank counts exactly that, just the empty spaces.
Now we reach a major milestone, teaching the spreadsheet to think. The if function makes decisions by running a logical test. For example, if a cell is greater than 70, return the text true. If it's not, return false. By combining if with the and or functions, which check multiple conditions at the exact same time, we can teach the spreadsheet to test a whole matrix of conditions and react logically on its own. It's like giving your data a brain.
We can also blend math with logic using conditional functions. SUMIF, AVERAGEIF, and COUNTIF perform calculations only on cells that meet a specific criterion. But here's where it gets really cool. If you add an S to the end, like SUMIFs, you can check multiple criteria. This is incredibly exciting because it allows you to instantly sum up your total revenue, but only for sales in the East region and only for transactions that exceeded $5,000.
Let's move to level 4, advanced referencing and lookups. This is where we build into the advanced magic of connecting massive data sets together. Before you start pulling data from everywhere, you absolutely must understand cell referencing. When you copy a formula, Excel uses relative referencing by default, shifting A1 to A2. But sometimes you want to point to one specific cell that never ever shifts, like a universal tax rate. That is an absolute reference. By placing dollar signs in front of the column and row, like $A, $1, you drop an anchor. Those dollar signs lock the reference perfectly in place.
So imagine you have a massive list of invoices, but the product prices are on a totally different worksheet, buried among a million rows. How do you pull the exact correct price over without manually scrolling and searching for hours?
Well, you use lookup tools. To pull this off, you need the classic VLOOKUP formula, which really just acts like a simple 4-step recipe. Step 1, what is the lookup value you're searching for? Step 2, what is the table array? That's just the grid of data where the answer lives. Step 3, what is the column index number that holds the value you want returned? And step 4, range lookup, where we almost always type false to demand an exact, perfect match.
Now, while VLOOKUP and its cousin HLOOKUP are absolute classics, they definitely have limitations, like only searching from left to right. Power users historically fix this by combining index and match. But Excel has evolved. Enter XLOOKUP. This is a real game changer. It's your modern best friend. It searches in literally any direction you want, defaults to an exact match automatically, and handles errors beautifully. It really is the modern unbreakable search tool.
Finally, level 5, refinement and visualization. Let's take all these raw calculations and refine them into a clean masterpiece.
First, we polish up the raw data. Just imagine using the unique function to instantly spit out a clean, deduplicated list from thousands of messy rows. The round functions let you perfectly control your decimal precision. The len function counts character lengths, which is absolutely perfect for verifying if an ID is the correct size. And if error, that is your safety net. If a formula breaks, instead of displaying some scary error code, if error catches it and displays a polite custom message instead. To wrap things up, we make it visual. Conditional formatting changes the actual appearance of cells based on the data inside them. You can set highlight rules to flag anything under a certain threshold in bright red, or use top/bottom rules to quickly find your top performers. You can inject data bars right into the cells, apply color scales to create instant heat maps, or use icon sets to put green, yellow, and red traffic lights right next to your numbers. You literally turn a dense, intimidating wall of numbers into intuitive visual trends for decision makers.
We've covered a ton of ground today in this explainer, from the basic vocabulary of sum and average to the logical brains of if and XLOOKUP, all the way to stunning visual refinement. Excel isn't just a digital ledger. It is a universal language of logic and automation. So I'll leave you with this. Now that you know the true language of Excel, how many hours of manual data entry are you going to automate tomorrow? Stop making simple lists, start commanding the calculation engine, and let Excel do the heavy lifting for you. Thanks for hanging out with me, and happy spreadsheeting.